How everybody doing? This is Mr. Amen, and this is a Let Them Know Media production. Today I want to talk about the Sankofa, right? The Sankofa is an Adinkra symbol from Akan, the Akan tribe of Ghana. And it's an important symbol, one of the biggest symbols, that's out here, right? And there's plenty of them. There's plenty of symbols. But the reason why I want to talk about this symbol today is because I don't think that it's really talked about as much as it should be. And, the Sankofa represents looking back to your past to create a better future. Okay? I was born during a time where, a lot of our grandparents and, our parents and stuff always told us, in order for you to know where you're going, you got to know where you're coming from. And I see that a lot of the younger generation don't respect the past. When it comes down to the enslavement of peoples, right? When you're talking about any of those type of situations in that nature, right? Colonization. When you're talking about Jim Crow, when you're talking about all of the things that our people and any other people went through in order to strive and thrive to make it, right? So one of the responsibilities of the elders was to pass on the memories of life. Their grandparents did it to them. When they got older, they passed it down to their kids. And then when their kids got older, they passed. And this was a responsibility to memory. And a lot of times I see that, people don't even care about the type of past that we have. Everybody like, get over it. Just get over it and woo woo. And I feel like, that's really disrespect to the millions and millions of people that actually went through these crises. You know what I'm saying? And we cannot disrespect our ancestors. You got to understand that ancestors, was the real angels. But, that's a topic for another video. But the ancestors is where we got angels from. But I'll talk about that in another video. But we can never disrespect our ancestors for all of the strides that they made, all the surviving that they did for us to be here today. It's over 8 billion people on this planet right now. So there has to be millions and billions of people that lived before us in order for us to be here today. Right? They will have us to remember the things that Trump is doing. They will have us remember all of the things that happened in 9/11. And as big as of a tragic moment that was, and to all the people that is lost, these are memories that we need to hold near and dear to us and show appropriate understanding and respect for the people that came before us. 9/11 is not the only time in history that we need to remember. Of course, it is one of those memories, though. But we have thousands of times throughout history that we need to remember. How can a people move forward if they don't know who they are? How can you move forward? A people that don't know who they are is lost. And I know a lot of people might feel some type of way about that, but in all honesty, feelings is why we so caught up now and not understanding the difference between what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. And I've learned that myself. But You know, the Sankofa is one of those symbols that can stay impressed in your memory, in your mind. Because once you see that symbol, it's like an immediate connection that you need to know your past to know where you're going. Right? So if you didn't know what your grandparents went through, how would you know what strides you need to take? And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that because we don't respect our past no more, that's the reason why the future is so lost and so much in question now. You know, a lot of men don't have respect for themselves. A lot of the women don't have respect for themselves. You know, our children is growing up not having respect for their grandparents and their parents. I mean, it's a mess out here. Every time we turn on the news, we hear about Trump. But this is the stuff we give our energy to, though. This is the stuff that we give our energy to. And I don't think none of that stuff is really worth the energy. I think what's worth the energy is understanding who your grandparents was. Who was your great-great-grandparents? And who was your great-great-great-grandparents? And what struggle did they go through to get you here today? You know, I did the Ancestry DNA test, right? And one of the things that you learn is when you do a tree, right? You have me. Then I have my father, then I have my mother, right? And then my mother has her two parents, my father has his two parents, and then you go up the tree. Then they have those two parents and so you go into like thousands and millions of great-great-greats just going up. I want to say 20 generations if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of people that we do not know. And, you know, I think that that's in part of us not successfully passing on the memories of our people. And so, you know, this video is to pay homage to all of the people that came before us. You know, we used to pour out liquor, right? Then we used to pour libations, right? And now we're not even doing none of the above. So I think we need to get back to who we were. And some of the things that we're doing now, we need to give up. Because I think there should be a balance in old school and new school coming together, paving the way for the future. Right? You need to have a perfect balance of old school and new school coming together, paving the way. It can't just be totally new school, and it can't just be totally old school, right? Because then nothing is really learned. So let's remember who we are. Let's remember who our grandparents was. Let's remember who our parents is. Let's pay homage to the people that's alive while they still here. And let's pay respect to those people that have passed and fallen before us. You know, much love to the people, the Akan people in Ghana, you know, who created that symbol. Much love to all of the ancestors and the symbols and the passing down of historical events in order for us to know who we are, where we came from, and how we need to potentially look at all of the above moving forward. Okay? So I just wanted to let y'all know that, and I wanted to give, you know, my testament and my testimony on why I think these things should be important to everybody. Because everybody that's living today have parents, and everybody that's living today has grandparents, even if you didn't meet them. That should be all the reason why you ask questions about who they were and what they were and who they were. Now, no matter if they was good or bad, you can learn from it. So, Let's move forward with a better future because we understand our past. And I just wanted to say peace and blessings to everybody, and y'all have a great day. All right.